Hmm. The arm of the court? Yes. Mm. An officer of the court? Mm. That performs tasks or duties related to the court's function? Yeah. Hmm. The bailiff? Yes. The employees of the court? Ooch. The court clerks? Yeah. Hmm. The county clerk? Yeah. I just want to mention to police and sheriff's departments, that is not your decision when you serve summons of a dissolution of marriage. You have an obligation to protect the rights of the respondent. Yes. And you have the obligation to protect the marriage. Right. They are not divorced at the time of service. Now I'm going to sue you for allowing for my wife to call you on a Sunday, have me arrested and serving me the dissolution of marriage because it's domestic violence against me and my sons, right, for intentionally obstructing my right to respond. And all of you that said, well, we'll just serve the guy whenever we want, you have the legal obligation to protect the rights of the respondent. Yeah. hmm See, the petitioner petitions, yes, and then you look at the dissolution of marriage, and you don't care who they are. No. Mm-mm. You look at the respondent, the last known address, yes, wherever the individual's at. Obviously, Heidi didn't know I was at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. Yeah. And you go out there the next business day so that the individual can respond within one day. Now, since the state cannot actually set a court hearing until 90 days has elapsed, yes, from the day of the service of the summons of the respondent, you in law enforcement right now have an obligation to protect the equal rights of both the petitioner, yes, and the respondent. Now, it's an abuse of my wife to call the police on a Sunday, yes, and then intentionally have you serve me and put me in jail, yes, so that I could not respond. Now, I waited the 89 days thinking that, well, I had to go through a jury trial, didn't I? Yeah. I was found not guilty. Yes. And my record was expunged so that I no longer was in the custody of Guam. But you made me in the custody of the state of Washington because you named me as the petitioner of a dissolution of marriage. Yes. Where I cannot get you to remove this fraudulent court orders. Now, for every individual that serves a summons of dissolution of marriage on a respondent, the reason that you serve them on the day before the next day that the court is open, yes, so as to protect their rights. Now, for every time that you thought it was funny, yes, really screwing with the guy because it doesn't matter, I'm going to sue you. Ooch. So you get me every county court in every county of the United States of America. Because this flippant, arrogant attitude of law enforcement that we don't have to protect the rights of the parties named, yes, really is reflected in all the times that you took it upon yourself to not put the sheriff's return of service in the next business day. Yes, as in you waited, mhm, until the 31st to make it a public court record. Yes. Now, why would there be any animosity towards me, Paul Budnick? Yes, when I was a productive member of society. Yes. And I owned a home in Squim. Right. Was it something my wife said about our relationship while we were on Guam? Yeah. Just looking at it, I think there's been a lot of conspiratorial hate against me. Yes. Now, I was arraigned on the 29th. Yes. You served me on the 27th. You had the court hearing on the 24th. Yes. And then you did or did not have the dissolution of marriage. Yes. Now, this abuse that I've had to experience as the respondent, yeah, it was abusive of you to serve me and arrest me at the same time. You should have either served me before the arrest, but that would have meant that you would have known about a 911 phone call. Yes. And the accusation of attempting to contact the petitioner through a third party. Yes. Now, when I go to subpoenaing every police officer in the Sequim Police Department, yes, all of those in the Port Angeles Police Department right now, and every sheriff, undersheriff, and deputy sheriff of the Clallam County Sheriff's Department. I'm going to ask you one question. Oh, did you know that my wife had motioned, because I don't see a hearing there, no, petitioned for dissolution of marriage on Thursday, the 24th of May? And did she give you the actual documentation? And instead of serving me the next day without the arrest, did you intentionally know that they were going to set me up for an arrest right now? Now that's defrauding the United States. That's conspiracy. Well, and I'm going to need a few $1 billion for that. Now, the assets of the county, that $2 billion I told you about, Clallam County, you no longer have any assets. Yes. And the individuals in the employment of this county, yeah. Well, if you've been covering up the felony of the sheriff's department, yes. Misprisioning the treason of Bill Benedict, yes. I'm going to sue every employee of Clallam County. See, it doesn't make any sense, right, to serve the respondent when arresting them at the same moment, unless you had conspired to cause me an immense amount of pain and suffering while going through the dissolution of marriage. Yes. Now, since I was arrested on the 27th, yes, and you did or did not know that my wife was going to have Healthy Families of Clallam County call, yes, on the 27th of May, yeah, for something that took place on the 4th of May, yeah, so that she was able to fill out all the forms, right, motion the court on the 24th, yeah, let's go ahead, have me arraigned on the 29th, yes, and then while trying to preserve the marriage, you made me go through a court hearing where the employees of Healthy Families of Clallam County, yes, accused me of violating your no jurisdiction protection order. Yes. So they could cover up the domestic violence of my wife of using the state. Yeah, I'm going to want every asset of the county, Bill. Do you understand? Yes. And this thought that you're not going to enforce the laws? Yes. I know that the police officers in Port Angeles have said there's nothing I can do. Yes. There's just nothing I can do. But I think I've done a pretty good job proving how police and sheriff's departments harass those that are innocent of any wrongdoing. Now, let's say I needed some attorneys. Could you get me the employees of every county that happens to be a bar association member? Yes. That is an attorney oath. Or an oath of admission. That is employed in every county, because of those 3.6 million employees. Some of them have to be attorneys, don't they? No. Well, you just get me all those that are attorneys in every county of the United States. See, they have an additional amount of legal liability. Yes, for the knowledge of kidnapping, abuse of my sons. And I'm going to sue everything. Now listen, Mark Nichols. Not only are you elected, yes, you're an attorney. Yes. Now I want this county to remove their fraud, and I want your assets. Now, you're going to give me custody of my sons, yes, because my wife, though she petitioned for dissolution of marriage, yes, it was actually a hate crime, yes, to arrest me and serve me at the same moment. And if there was a conspiracy of individuals in the employment of this county that all said, well, we know that Healthy Families is going to call. So we'll just wait until they do call, then we'll serve him and arrest him at the same moment. Yes, that would be additional negligence on the part of the county. Do you still think I'm crazy? Well, you acted without the authority of the law when you responded in the 90 days. See, sometimes, let's say the individual known as the respondent went down there the next day. Yes. Responded within one day. And then, of course, you have this obligation of the children in the middle attendance class. Yes. She did her class on June 26th of 2012. Yes. Approximately 2 months after filing for dissolution of marriage. Right. There was no hurry on her part. Yes. I have 3 months to do the class. Yes. And I'm not in a hurry. It's not like she did it in the first month. No, no, no. Mm-mm. She did know I was on trial. Isn't that right? Was that Heidi that testified during the trial? Or was that Jill, the look-alike Heidi Lee Budnick? Oops, because I don't think it was my wife on the stand. Now, we were playing this little game called How Do We Screw Over the Husband? Yes. And making me go to court. Yes. And then her having the prosecuting attorney's office represent her. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm just kind of